Nobody? Nobody wants to know? Nobody wants to talk? Anybody? Somebody? I can think of a topic, I guess. Something. I don't know. What do we do? We could all just sit here on our hands and think.
If you haven't talked to Howard, you should ask him for his story because it's interesting. Maybe he'll give you a slightly different version of it than we heard yesterday at Ladies' Night. Even though I'm here, Howard,
There,
don't feel
Howard.
bad about repeating yourself.
Are you there, Howard?
It's not so interesting.
What's up, dude?
I don't know.
How are you today? How are you?
About. I'm good. Good.
I know they talked to you yesterday. I
just did some gardening.
So since you've been here, how long have you been here? How long have you been on the server?
In the channel or on the planet?
Yeah, like no, on the server. On this server. Couple days?
2 days. 2 days.
2 days. So what do you think about the server so far? What do you think about us?
Well, I guess I would just
be honest.
I'd say I love it so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to talk.
So are we as crazy as you thought we would be?
I didn't think you guys would be crazy, but I think it'd probably be quicker to talk about the things that that I could be critical about versus the things that I like. The things that I like are quite a bit. I think.
Well, I thought I'd get both sides.
Before I came, I listened to a bunch of the podcasts, or like 10 or so. Right. It was just recordings from the debates that you guys were having in here, and I think there's a huge opportunity to, for the people that do come in, obviously to help them see and understand and maybe have them join us. That would be a huge success story if someone, was on the other side of the fence and was like, wow, I think you guys made a really good point, and then they become an ally. And outside of the trolls and the people that are, that come in with bad intent, or they don't argue in good faith, I think sometimes it's really easy to get excited.
I have a question for you. Why do you think people troll in the first place?
I think they just
what's your best guess at why people troll?
Oh, why people troll in general?
Why would somebody just decide to go and attack some other whatever argument, whatever relationship, whatever? Why would somebody do that? Do you think that that's a natural response to stimuli? In your opinion?
I think in general, people, it's a little bit of a coping mechanism, I think, for people to make themselves feel good. So some people, I think psychologically, they make themselves feel better by pushing other people down. And so if they view a certain demographic as below them, then it makes them feel good to push them down even further. And it makes them feel like they're higher, that makes them feel like they're taller. And it's kind of like a narcissistic thing, but people get bored, and some people enjoy banter and enjoy people and whatnot. And so,
right, but when you get bored, when a person gets bored, like normally, I mean, I'm just speaking from my own opinion. I don't usually think to do things that are negative. I'm not saying that it isn't something that doesn't come up occasionally.
Well, it's not.
When I'm sitting around bored, I don't think about, like, let's say, going after some woman or some dude or some whatever. I just don't. It's just not the first thing that comes to my mind.
Sure, but I mean? So to use a different analogy, like, would you say that like fighting is bored, like physically fighting someone is negative?
Well, it depends on the situation, I think. But.
Right. Yeah. So I would say that like physically beating the shit out of somebody, could be perceived as a negative thing. Some people really enjoy fighting,
Well, let's draw a line. Let's say fighting to defend yourself is a little different than beating someone down, right?
Yeah, sure. But even just like getting, like I don't want to go to the gym or to like a boxing ring and on the weekend or just start beating the shit out of somebody and then beating the shit out of me. But some people really like that. So really all I'm just trying to say is that in a certain psychological type where they,
I mean, like,
they get
troll.
off.
I mean, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I just think that there's a certain psychological type that they get off. It heightens their emotions.
But my question is more pointed then. My question is more pointed at why do they get off on the negativity when that's not normally what you get off on, right? What changes that? What?
Why does a bully? Why does a kid in high school bully other kids?
It's a defense mechanism.
Yeah, they've got something going on inside of them, and that they don't feel good about, and so they develop coping mechanisms to make themselves feel better. So
rather than just standing there and crying about the situation they're in, right?
Yeah, so like if a kid is he doesn't read very well, and he sees another kid by himself reading a book, he's going to be like, haha, look at that nerd over there, reading, what a loser,
Okay, well, let's say you fight it. Let's say you bully a kid and you beat him up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he's angry, right? He'll probably just avoid you, right? Like the next time he sees you, he'll probably just walk the other way, right?
Yeah, he'll try to, but
right. He would, right? So what makes a person? What changes that person into a troll, though? What makes that person want to go the opposite and then attack the other person, even though they're going to get bullied again? You see my point? What makes a troll?
I think the bully is the troll, not the kid getting bullied.
No, I mean, like, I got picked on as a kid, so I know this full well, right? I got picked on, I got beat up, all that stuff, right? But at some point, I got tired of it. I got tired of being the one that always got beat up, and I finally fought back, and that's when everything changed. But I didn't go out and start bullying everybody.
Well,
I simply just knew how to stop bullying from happening to me. So what makes a person want to go beyond just not being bullied and become the bully? That's my question.
Well,
to me, that's what a troll is. A troll is someone who intently goes after a thing or an idea simply to get pleasure out of it. But normally when someone insults you, you just move on, right? You just, I don't want to be insulted, so I'll stay away. But what makes you want to go back and keep getting that and keep getting bullied again? What makes a person switch from that, stay away from the person because they're bullying to wanting to go there and get bullied on purpose? What switches? What mechanism, what psychological mechanism makes a person into a troll?
A check.
Yeah, I think outside
you see my point, right? You understand the difference.
I think outside of places like this, when they're in their day-to-day life, like let's say that they talk to a family member or friend, and they're like, "Hey, I went into this flat Earth forum, bunch of idiots, and I just went in there and trolled them the whole time, and they think they're this flat. How stupid is that? Like you gotta come in here sometime with me and listen. These people are so dumb. That's pushing them down to make themselves, pushing others down to make themselves feel better. So that it's hard because if you're not in that mindset, if you don't have the same psychological perspective that they have,
but in this case it's a little different because of the situation. We're talking about something that sounds completely crazy, but once they come in here, they realize that's not actually true, right?
Do they realize
my
that? My
question is, but I think they do. I think they
really.
Do. I think that if I came into like let's just say somebody decided that pigs fly, okay, and I saw that there's some Discord channel about how pigs fly and how it's true, right? I might, out of curiosity, go in there to find out what's going on, right? Because I want to know why people think this, right? I want to know what the angle is, right? But I'm not necessarily going to stick around and come back every single day just to get that same feeling, because I don't need to. Once I know these people are crazy, I don't need to know anymore. I move on, right? I don't go back and keep doing that over and over and over and over and over again, getting some kind of sick pleasure out of it.
Dude, listen, I agree with you on that. And my first night here, I actually brought that point up. And I go, listen, I don't think that there's more than two genders. That's my own personal belief. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I go, listen to these guys that were coming in here arguing. And I go, listen, I don't join like tranny Discord servers and go in there and tell them and argue with them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not all about that. Like, I'm not going to go. I mean, maybe I would go in there
what
once.
breaks that? What breaks
Dude,
that line? What do you think makes people?
I have no idea, man. That's the $1 million question right there. I mean, maybe in a very dark corner of their mind, they fear that we might be right. And so whether that, like, you know, their mind settles and rests, and then it comes to the forefront of their mind, and they're like, oh yeah, that's right, those people still exist. I'm gonna go tell them they're wrong, and that makes them feel better. I mean, it is quite scary, you know, if you do accept. I think with many conspiracy theories, this is why people have a hard time with it, with conspiracies in general, is that if what is being proposed is true, then that can be very frightening for many reasons, not just, you know, what the implications are if that is true, but, you know, what are these people hiding? You know, why would they be hiding it? You know, everyone around you is lying. You know, it's much easier to fool someone than to convince them that they've been fooled. You know, no one wants. I once had a very, very close acquaintance of mine. She was very successful. You know, by all measurements, a very rich woman. Tell me that she knew CNN has never lied to her about anything, and she trusted CNN as a source. And I said, well, how do you know that? I mean, me fully well knowing that CNN and all the mainstream media lies out their ass all the time. But I go, well, how do you know that? And she goes, because I am too smart to be lied to. You know,
That's
and so,
funny.
yeah. And so, you know,
You
she's
believed
like
in Santa Claus, right?
I mean, yeah, she was a lifelong.
I'd be like, Santa, boom.
Yeah. So, you know, I think if I had to guess, you know, I don't know for sure, but if I had to guess, I would say that maybe one of the reasons why they would keep coming back is that there is a very small percentage of them that fears that we might be right, and they have to keep coming back to poke fun and to troll and to fight to reassure themselves. Yeah, no, they're wrong. You know, I'm right and they're wrong. So,
So
you
it
know,
would seem that there's a level of trollicity, right? Like there's a level of, like there's the curious, right? And then there's the pissed off, right? Like you go, let's say I go to a, you know, Pigs Fly Discord channel, and instead of them just telling me what their evidence is for, you know, that pigs fly, they just give me a bunch of runaround, right? That might make me angry enough to go back another day, right, and try to challenge them again. But what makes somebody change from wanting to know the truth to just wanting to show up and just ruin things or just step on things? Or, like, that's what I mean by troll. Like someone who literally just comes in just to irritate the situation, even though they know that the conversation is actually logical, right?
They're getting
that's
paid.
Kind of the troll thing.
They're getting paid to do it.
That's a good one.
To analyze us, get our algorithms. You know what I mean? It's not to debate. They don't care if they prove the globe or disprove the globe or anything. That's not even the point of them getting there. It's just to hear our reactions to stuff.
The conversation.
They can make the algorithm. You know what I mean?
So then I guess there would be more than one troll then, because I know a lot of the trolls.
I wouldn't even call them trolls.
Are just here because they're angry, right? They're pissed off.
Yeah, I don't even think angry. They're just getting a paycheck, Doug.
Right.
Well, I guess trolls come in all shapes and sizes. You know, there's not just one troll type.
Right, but even though I'm on a Flat Earth channel, right, and I come on this Discord channel server all the time, right, and I get trolled by ball earthers, right, or globies, whatever you want to call them, that doesn't make me want to go out and do the same thing to ball earth proponents, right? Why? Because I know it's useless, right? I'm not going to convince people.
But bro, what if you got offered a fat check to do it, and you had a
that's a completely different angle. I'm talking about purely, like, of your own self, like what causes a person to want to become a troll. And I think this is important, that I don't know. I know it's a stupid question, but I think it's important to understand what the difference is between the different types, because I think just saying someone's a troll is kind of a blanket idea, like saying somebody isn't very intelligent. You know, like, okay, so I'm not very intelligent, but does that make me stupid? No. Okay, well, you know, there's like gray areas. And I think that a lot of people don't think about what a troll really is, right? A troll is someone who literally comes in just to cause discord, right?
Yeah,
they just come in deliberately.
Do you know who Daryl Davis is? Does that name ring a bell?
No.
He's this. I think he might have passed away. But it was this black man, Daryl Davis, who he was like an activist and R&B musician guy. And what he would do, what kind of he like turned his like mission into was befriending KKK members, and he would try to convert KKK into people who weren't racist and who weren't just completely against his race. And he would literally walk up to their houses and knock on the door and start conversations with them. And what he would do is try to bond with them over
right.
common.
Try to show them that he's a human being.
How did he get him to resign? Hold on. How did he get him to resign from the FBI?
Right?
Yeah.
How did he get him from their thespian class?
It's pretty good.
How do you know where they live?
I mean, you know, it's probably not hard to track them down in certain areas, but either way, you know, I watched a couple documentaries about him, and it was kind of amazing because a lot of people, you know, when confronted with opposition like that, would come at it with anger and protest and violence. And where he approached it, he came at it with friendship and tried to like level with them and communicate with them and talk to them about. Specifically, his approach was through music, and to get them to see that they have much more in common. I got slapped. That they have much more in common than they do have difference. And I think he even flipped one of like the Grand Wizards, one of the leaders. So
John Grisham movie you're talking about, bro? The Time to Kill?
No. This guy's name is Daryl Davis. He's a real person. I mean, they might have made a movie about it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, though. Coming to a theater near you.
Oh, I think he's still alive.
Here's the truth. Okay. Here's the truth in fiction.
Right? Yeah.
Right. How did they get him to resign from the FBI? It's pretty good. Mm-hmm. I think the subconscious fear that we might be right is probably if I had to put that as the top.
When you say we might be right, what do you mean by that? We might be right about what?
How small is that?
Asking about why trolls the question was why in God's name would trolls keep coming back over and over and over again? Like, what is the driving force behind that?
Here's the thing.
I was trying to say. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's because they're agitators, they're not trolls. They're agitators.
Like,
so,
but what makes a person want to go beyond that?
Yeah, but how much?
Yeah, I think it's because we create.
I can answer that. It's called ideological possession. Have you ever argued with a leftist? You ever argued with a leftist?
Yeah, but I'm not going to join a leftist server 3-4 times a week.
No. But do you know what I'm saying, have you ever argued with a leftist?
Sure. Okay. Sure.
Do you find them reasonable or rational?
Most times irrational.
Most times completely irrational.
I think they derive a lot from emotion rather than reason and logic. Yeah.
They actually are driven more by their ideological possession than their reason or their rationality. And so what they'll do is they will go out and they will do something called agitprop. They will go out to agitate, not to change minds, but it's essentially just old school trolling.
Like
it's all rules for radicals. Yeah, it's provocation, and you're not doing it to change people's minds. You're not doing it to have your
agent provocateur.
Yeah, agent provocateur. They don't work for anybody.
Without being paid, though, how much energy, and maybe it's just difficult for me to put myself in their shoes, because
it's a fandom. It's a fandom. They don't need to get paid. They are happy.
wow.
All of these people who come in here to do this.
Yeah. And see, that's why I think, I don't know. This is my second day, like I was telling you.
Howard, are you a flat earther?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, since about 20
I was just wondering, because I heard you refer to Earth as a planet earlier. That's what I was asking you.
I misspoke. Like, how long have I been on this planet? Yeah.
No, I'm just wondering.
I realized that. Yeah, nobody called me out immediately, but yeah, I was thinking that in the back of my mind when I said it.
Well, it's not really about calling you out.
Yeah, I know. But shit, I forgot what I was going to say now.
Sorry.
Oh, that's why my point that I was bringing up earlier was, and I've only been here a couple days, so I don't know if you guys do this, but if you guys have developed a process to either mute or remove, or like how do you come to a conclusion that this person that has come into the channel is not here arguing in good faith, and it is not worth our time to sit here for hours trying to convince someone that literally doesn't want to be convinced, is not here to be convinced, and just wants to provoke.
When they speak out of both sides of their mouth, that's typically when you know they're lost. You know what I mean, Howard?
No, could you elaborate on that?
So typically they'll take a position to win the point of the argument, and then they will take the opposite position to win the next point of the argument.
Oh, sure. Okay. And then do you have a process of removal or silencing so that we don't keep spinning our wheels indefinitely with them?
Well, they just kind of hang around to listen, as long as they're not spurging out in the VC and in the text, with their dribblings and their degeneracy, then we are happy to have them around and listening, and maybe something will sink in one day.
Okay.
What made you pick the Black Swan logo, Howard?
Just so yeah, the first it was Central. Yeah, his name is Central. He was the one that did my interview, and he the first night I was here, he was talking about the Black Swan multiple times, and I loved it. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make that my profile icon, is this Black Swan. Yeah.
All right. That's right.
I feel like it was a good representation. I do. I'm a software engineer, and I do design as well. And so I was thinking about making a logo, a flat Earth logo that had the Black Swan in it. So I might get down, around to that in a little bit.
Do you know where the Black Swan is?
The actual Black Swan event, like what the oil rig photos.
Yeah.
No, I guess I don't actually know what coast that's on. Yeah, where is it?
California.
Oh, okay. Where?
It's about 15 minutes from here.
Where in California?
It's in Montecito.
Montecito.
Yeah. It's
San Francisco.
Summerlin and Santa Barbara. So you're a software engineer?
Yeah, I make mobile apps.
Okay.
Like iOS apps. Yeah.
Okay. For Apple.
Yeah, for iPhones. but I don't work for Apple. I've worked for a bunch of different companies, but now I work for myself. But
That's cool.
One of the projects that I worked on was the facial recognition software or facial manipulation software for Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Russian company then, and it was like back in like 2014 or so.
So do you do the coding or do you do the design?
I do both now. Back then I was just doing design, and then I got into iOS Swift programming when it came out, like 2016, 2017 or so.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't prefer the meta then, right? You prefer working with the outer?
In the outer, what do you mean by that?
As opposed to the inner, like the metadata?
Oh, no, I would rather I build native apps from scratch.
Okay. That's right. From scratch.
Yeah, like raw code.
Like fresh baked. Fresh baked. Like my mom never used to make.
I like your name, Latter Day Saints.
Thank you.
Is that a religion?
No, I'm not a religious person at all.
FDS? No? Oh, okay. You could start
Latter-day
one.
Saints.
Get some tax write off.
Nah. I'm just a born again flat earther. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a 1491er, bro.
1491?
Yeah.
Is that when wait, is that the year that is that a reference to a year? 1491.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
happened? What happened in 1491?
Nothing. Which is exactly how it should have remained. You know what I mean? Everything was fine over here. You know? They had their own system. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if 1492 is an accurate date, but that's the date I was told as a kid, you know?
Then what happened?
That Columbus supposedly set foot here.
Oh, right.
Bus.
Columbus.
Isn't there
One that wanted to bind the columns.
wasn't there a quote about
Room 101.
Columbus, like some letters were discovered where he'd gone down south and found like a young island girl, and he had wrote home about her. Have you guys seen this?
Oh no. How would they send letters back like that? You know what I mean? Courier pigeon?
By boat? You know, like a boat full of letters?
Yeah, but if he had never been to this new land before, how would somebody else figure out how to? I mean, I guess they'd figure out how to get back. I just think the whole story is empty.
You guys haven't seen this, so I'm going to find the Columbus letter. This is going to blow your mind. 1 second.
You think it's
Columbus,
real?
Yeah, Columbus was paid to bring America to the old world. They knew exactly where it was from maps like the Piri-Reis map and things.
Yeah.
And, he didn't get lost at all. He went exactly where he was told to go and where he was paid to go to start the New Atlantis project.
Yeah, it is not. Well, he didn't go to America though, did he?
No, he went somewhere else.
Oh, so we was the ability to do that. I mean, ostensibly, the first Europeans in the modern age who went to Europe were on the Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria, right? I mean, as according to history.
Yeah. Well, obviously, the first Europeans would have been the Solutreans, things like that.
Yeah. Obviously, I think it's becoming more mainstream and accepted that people have been coming here for a long time, of every stripe. Europeans, the Nordics, Asians, Romans. Everybody's been coming here for a while.
Egyptians.
Yeah, Egyptians. So
And a lot of that stuff is mainstream. It's just people aren't interested, they don't look. They just hyper focus on their narrow interests. So.
Hello. Hey guys, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to apologize that I couldn't present today because I messed up the time. I thought it was next week on Saturday.
So you want to change it to next Saturday?
Yeah, I didn't know. I misunderstood the time. I thought it was next week, but you guys scheduled it today.
No worries. The date.
What did we schedule today? What did we schedule today?
Zan's presentation.
Yeah, but it's not ready, unfortunately. Yeah, it's very shameful by me. So I come here to apologize for my disorganization.
Shame.
Zan,
Shame,
if your PowerPoint isn't ready, that's okay.
Shame.
Dude, you got
Shame.
some time.
Shame
right?
on you, shame on you,
Yeah.
and shame on you.
We can make the PowerPoint together if you wanna work on it together. I've got Microsoft Office.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
You can't just sit off the cuff, bro.
We
Just
can
off the
open
top
up
of the dome.
Yeah, we can open up Google Pages and bust it out together, you know?
Offer. Okay. Do you want
Perhaps
me
maybe you have a
to
Lycra
say something
experiment.
else? I beg your pardon?
I just said perhaps maybe you have a Lycra experiment where they
Yeah.
put the Lycra in a circle and they use like pool balls and stuff.
Do you want me to put that in the presentation? Like, do you
Well, I
want
mean,
me to
it
present it?
demonstrates orbital mechanics. You know what I mean? It's a fine demonstration of orbital mechanics.
I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe.
I want you to
I
put
do
in
have
whatever
some
you think is going to
experiment.
convince me that we live on a ball, bro. Whatever it is.
Yeah. I think you guys are estimating it a bit. Just saying.
Underestimating your presentation?
Yeah.
I was actually overestimating it.
I think when I was here
Okay.
just maybe 30 minutes
don't know.
ago, there was like 10 people
Well, I
in here.
don't.
Now there's
Well,
way
I
more
mean,
because they were excited for your presentation.
yeah. I'll try my best. Okay. I don't know if you're underestimating or overestimating it.
No, dude, we're not underestimating you. We're looking forward to
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you. So. Sorry, this is kind of strange that it's a bit quiet. Sorry.
What's your presentation about?
It's the presentation is an analysis of I debunk the Earth of being flat, like the shape of it, and then I explain the curvature of it and why it's true, and then I explain more about the frame of reference, and it's a lot of stuff. More.
Sounds interesting.
Do you think you need a whole week for that? I mean, we could just talk about it now. If you got me a measurement, hey, if you got me a measurement,
Well, I mean,
if you got me a measurement to curvature, you will bring me off flat, easy.
Me too. Seriously.
I'm
tired
not
of being a flat
interested.
earther.
Here's the thing: I'm not interested in being a flat earther or a globe earther. I'm only interested in what's true. So if you show me something true, I'll believe it.
Okay. So.
Hashtag truth.
Wait, can I just say this? Oh yeah, just saying. I'm 16 years old. So, so someone asked me that on Discord. I'm
Congratulations.
16.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is really early for me.
Well, I'm
Early
41.
early in life?
No, but like I don't think a lot of minors.
Can I ask you something?
We had a 14-year-old here the other day.
Hold on. Can I pick your brain on something? And it's not gonna be flat Earth related. I just want to pick your brain on something. It won't be flat Earth related. I promise.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Do you believe in man-made climate change?
Man-made climate change.
Yes.
Okay, this
Anthropogenic climate change, as it is called.
This didn't surprise me. You have watched the documentary, right?
Hold on. I'm asking if you believe in it.
I think it's both.
You think it's what?
Well, you're right. Humans,
I think it's a both. Like
humans definitely have an impact on.
No. Don't. Hold on. There's no.
What percentage?
Hold on. No. Wait. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going somewhere.
Hold on, Howard.
All right. You say that the climate is changing, right? I mean, we all know climate changes, right?
Yeah.
How do you know it's wrong?
Wrong of what?
How do you know that the climate's wrong?
What are you talking about? Like,
how do you know
the climate is wrong?
How do you know that the climate is not exactly what the climate is supposed to be?
Wow.
How do you know that? My father has a personal experience of it. When he used to live in Sweden, and you could see
No. I didn't ask if the climate was changing. I asked, how do you know that climate isn't supposed to be exactly what it is?
How do I know?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not supposed to be on its standards.
What standard? Are you saying that a dynamic, changing, chaotic system that has no recorded history past 200 years ago, is that what you're saying? That stays stand? Are you saying that the climate is supposed to stay static? It's not supposed to change?
No.
If it's supposed to change, how do you know the change is incorrect?
Okay, I got it.
How could anyone ever know? Okay. How could anyone ever know that the climate is not exactly what the climate is supposed to be?
Because the current acceleration is higher than it is.
How do you know the acceleration is not exactly what's supposed to be happening?
Because of data.
No, the data says it's happening. The data does not tell you why. And it also doesn't tell you here's what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Does the data tell you, hold on, does the data tell you what it's supposed to be?
Yeah, okay, wait, Roman frog, wait.
What is the climate supposed to be?
What's the climate supposed to be?
Yes, what's the climate supposed to be?
The average climate on Earth is...
No. What is it supposed to be? What is it supposed to be?
I don't know.
Do you think it's odd that you have been educated and saying and been told data says it's changing, therefore it's wrong, but they're not telling you why it's wrong?
No. What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean by wrong?
Okay, let me put it to you like this. Say you're a tsetse fly and you have 1 day of life, right? If you're born in the rain and it rains half a day, half of your life it's raining, isn't it? That's the entirety of your experience. And the next tsetse fly that's born has a completely different weather experience. You're talking about a dynamic system that is always changing, and people pulling measurements out. They're measuring it. Sure, they're measuring it perfectly accurately. I have no problem with that. And sure, the climate is changing, but who's to say that that isn't what it's supposed to be?
Okay. Should I tell you why it's a bit different?
As long as you don't use data that does not have the alternative of what it is supposed to be. Because if you're giving me a measurement of something, you need to be able to show me the deviation from what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
You get it?
Yeah. The acceleration of the climate is higher. It's higher than it has ever been, and it's way higher.
How do you know that's not what it's? How do you know that's not what it's supposed to be?
Because it's so different, and so.
How do you know? Have you lived for 4 billion years?
4 billion years.
Yeah, how old do you think?
Hold on.
How old is?
Oh,
Hold
I'm
on, hold
happy
on.
you
Now.
said
No,
4
no, no.
billion, not
I am
6,000.
going. I'm going somewhere with this. Everyone needs to let me. In. I'm not just talking about recorded history. Has there ever been massive climate change in the past, like ice ages or heat ages?
Yeah. Yes, but
So this is a dynamic changing system. But you don't know that it's more. You don't know that it's more.
Oh, I don't know.
No, nobody does. Nobody does.
But we've taken ice samples out of Antarctica that go back hundreds of thousands of years that have way more carbon dioxide in the ice than.
Let him finish.
Okay. That doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. All it means is that the weather has always changed. So how do you find the deviation from norm? In other words, let's say you're saying the data shows that it's increased a degree over the past 100 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How are you proving that that's not what it was supposed to do?
Okay. Because the acceleration is higher than it has.
Listen,
Wait.
you can't use that because that's derivative data. You have to be able to know what the optimum is. You have to be able to know what the perfect climate system is to be able to say that this is wrong. So what is it supposed to be if you're saying that?
Wait, Mimius,
accelerating compared to what?
But you're gonna have to let me speak, because sometimes it feels like I don't get to talk Finnish, and I don't get to go to my point.
I'll tell you why. It's because every time you start, you're starting with
invalid.
because the data says. No, it's because the data says, and that's exactly what I'm trying to get you away from. You don't have any data for what it's supposed to be. You only have data for what we're observing. Now, if you're observing something and you're measuring something, that doesn't tell you anything about some alternative fantasy about it's supposed to be something else, right? Like if I told you the clouds are white, but they're supposed to be a different color, something's changed. You'd call me a retard, rightly?
No, I never called you ever a retard.
No. I'm saying you should call me a retard if I said something like that.
No.
Yes,
I don't think any of you guys are retards.
Moron. Okay, maybe there's a language barrier there. You don't get my tone.
No,
but
you can say how much you want. I don't care.
What is the weather supposed to be? Don't tell me it's changing. We all know it's changing. But tell me what it's supposed to be.
Would you like me to simulate something?
No.
As an example?
No.
Oh, okay.
I want you to tell me what it's supposed to be.
Oh, on Earth. I don't know that, but I can search it up.
Do you think it's odd you've only been given one possible answer to a question you never asked, and then we're taught this, and we're taught there were no alternatives to that?
Wait, Nemas, wait, 1 second. I think you're kind of rolling this around a bit. Just saying, I don't know if you'll disagree on me or not, but whether the point is, if you're going to have something different, if you're calculating the mean over the whole entire time, like, oh, this has changed, and but if you have such a big hit that is so much bigger than the rest of the other climate hits, then we have something different, something way different.
Do you know everything about the environment and everything about the sun and everything about volcanic activity?
I'm 16.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you. I'll go ahead and tell you. I will go ahead and tell you this. They don't know anything like that. They know nothing. They know nothing like that. I'm talking about the people who purport to know all these things, don't know all these things.
Okay. That's
the biggest driver of the environment is the sun. Period. And if there's
the biggest heat source, yeah, I agree.
the biggest driver of the environment is the sun. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Someone was playing piano, I think.
Now, didn't the global temperature, according to y'all, the meteorologist of the Earth, the global temperature dropped 1.5 degrees for a week because of one single eruption, one single volcanic eruption, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was just recently. That was what? Mount St. Helens. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So if things change, you have no idea what the driver behind those are.
How do you know? It could be a
No, it's how.
volcano.
No. I'm saying you have no idea. That's not a knowledge claim. I'm saying the knowledge claim is coming from the people who say it's changing, therefore it's wrong. That's a retarded statement. To say that because something changes, it's wrong is a retarded statement. So, like, if you're watching a mountain, or if you're watching a mountain bulge and bulge and bulge for years, and it bulges every year, and then one day smoke starts coming out of it, you might say, "Oh, what have we done?" When in reality, it was always going to do that, and there's nothing you could have done.
Yeah, what about it?
I'm saying
I agree with you.
okay,
What do you want me
but
to say?
the problem is the environmentalist who invented this idea of man-made climate change are saying that the climate is incorrect, like it's not where it's supposed to be. They have no evidence for that. Zero. They have zero. They could show it increased 10 degrees and they would still have zero evidence that it's not 100% normal.
The only thing constant is change. I was
You know
going
what's
to add.
funny?
But there is no constant. It's the weather. The weather doesn't have a constant.
Okay.
Yeah, the only
But
thing
do you want
constant
me?
is change.
You know what's funny? I've actually done this in class. We talked about this in. We watched a full documentary of nature-made climate change, and then we also watched one with man-made climate change.
With
Hey,
what?
man, I watched a documentary about how Star Trek works and how warp engines are real. And let me tell you something, as far as climate change goes, I've been watching debates. I'm 41, and I've been watching debates about this, and I went back and forth on whether it was real or not for many years. I was there when Al Gore released his idiotic film.
His algorithm?
An Inconvenient Truth.
Algorithm, yes, and An Inconvenient Truth, where he showed CO2 rising at the same time as heat. Have you heard that CO2 rises at the same time as heat?
Uh-oh.
No, I haven't, but I heard the
Okay, well, see, that was they always say the CO2 causes it. There's just one problem, is that the temperature rose before the CO2 rose.
Uh-oh.
Don't you think that's a problem? Don't you think there's a problem with your belief if it's the heat driving the CO2 increase? Because heat causes more water evaporation, which does what? Causes more CO2 to be released.
Okay.
Zarn, this better be in your presentation.
Okay. Sorry?
Sorry, see, I'm trying to let you know that it's okay to have beliefs, but you need to recognize that some junk that you believe is just a belief. Just a belief.
Hey, is somebody's TV coming through voice chat? Do you guys hear that?
Yeah, that's mine. That's
me, Melissa. Also, Jean, don't forget, in the 1970s, they were telling us of the coming ice age. We were all going to die from the coming ice age. So once you live a little bit longer than 16 years, you'll see how the message changes. It's all fear porn to control people. And what you've got to understand is all of the data and information you have is worthless. There's no basis. There's no normative.
Yeah, they also did a thing before it turned 2000 when they said all electronics would shut down. when it turned to
the Millennium Bug. Yeah, and they had the 2012 nonsense, and they got the recent nonsense, and so on and so forth. So you just got to understand it's another trick like all the rest of them, and don't worry about it. And it doesn't matter what they present, there's nothing substantive behind it. Once you start to dig, as Memeless explained and has tried to help you understand, that change is change. But change from what? There is no
I think you just gave me a perfect idea. I'll save something up for next week.
Good man.
Okay.
So, yeah, don't think that change is bad when you don't have anything to compare. Okay?
I wanted to add.
I wasn't saying that change was like if you have change now and then, it's fine. But I was saying that if a change is so absurdly higher than the other ones, then something has happened.
Geoengineering.
That could be normal, or that could be HARP. You never know.
HARP and geoengineering combined, they spray that heavy metal particulates in the atmosphere. It causes a greenhouse effect. Ultraviolet radiation comes in, can't get out as easy. Then they heat those radio particulate waves with HARP.
Hey, bro, I just posted in the live chat a couple about 10 or 15 U.S. patents for weather modification, just in case you're interested. XARN, because they probably don't teach you that in
the
school.
cloud machines and all that, cloud seeding. I know about it all.
I'm just.
Wait, can I ask you guys?
Actual patents. XARN.
Wait, can I?
I just posted the patent numbers in the patents for them. That's how you know if something's real.
Cheers, dude. Let John speak. John, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Wait, have you guys watched what is it called? The documentary called the what is it? The Wellington? No, the Winster effect, or I don't know the word, but there was this document that talked about nature-made climate change. Have you guys watched that? It talked about that. Have you seen it?
Documentaries are typically very manipulative. They show you what they want to show you to get the desired outcome. What you have to do is actually research yourself to see if the things are valid and what they're not telling you. There's usually a lot they're not telling you in those documentaries, okay? So don't just watch a documentary.
If you've seen it or not.
No, I've never heard of it. If you post a link to it, we'll have a look at it. But I'm just saying, a documentary doesn't make it true. Just remember.
I know. You know that documentary that I just mentioned? That documentary was sponsored by an oil factory.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. It was debunked.
Well.
It's the same as the Al Gore one that I watched and Memeless watched.
Wait, which one?
An Inconvenient Truth. Packed full of lies. But it made us believe it. It was very convincing. They had all this science and all this data and all this blah, 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 and it was all hogwash.
Nice.
They got like Greta and, you know, the other people now. They're like the modern day version of what he was trying to do. They got the Green Project. They got you guys, making you guys feel bad that you guys are responsible because you didn't do what they say and take heed and recycle enough stuff. And, you know what I mean? And as a matter of fact, it's just our fault just because we breathe in CO2 and we're just polluted, you know? The cows. It's all our fault, you know? Guilt tripping.
Yeah.
That's
a Stockholm.
Now then, more of an apology and an informative announcement. But okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to
check your DM, bro?
Okay.
All right, I sent you a bunch of patents, U.S. patents for weather modification.
Good. Latter-day Saints. That's a cool name.
Thank you.
So yeah, this information will just help you decide as to what may or may not be going on. and these things are kind of not as well advertised because it doesn't fit the narrative. You see.
Okay. Wait, can I ask you guys? What's his name? Cyclone? No, Cyclone. Will he be here in next week?
You know what? I will especially ask him because I invited him for today's event because you said that you wanted him to be there, and he's an advocate of yours, is what I determined when I invited him. But anyway, he had to go to some kind of family event today, so he couldn't make it. So maybe it ends up being fortuitous that you're going to do it next week because maybe he can be there. I will invite him to next week too.
Okay, that's great. Okay, that's good actually. I'll see you guys then.
Okay. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Zarn, what if somebody shows up in an hour for your originally scheduled time and you're not here? Can you come back in an hour? At least say hello. What if people are setting their alarms on their phone? Like, I get to talk to Zarn in 1 hour. Can you come back at least say hello in 1 hour, Zarn?
I called off work for this.
I know. Look at that. See, I told you.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Okay, I'll just come back in an hour and say hi.
I took off my
You
shoes
have a
for this, bro. Come on.
huge following. Come back in 1 hour. Set your alarm now. Yeah, and then we'll see you next week for your official presentation. You've got offered, I think that was Howard that offered to tutor you and how to do a presentation, which is, you should take him up on that. I mean, free mentoring, that's pretty cool. So yeah, we'll see you in an hour, and I'll tell Wolfgang about next week.
Like you've got any shoes, Fladder Day Saints?
I seem to have misplaced them.
Seen enough of your Sasquatch feet.
They're small, but they're really wide.
Yeah, like me. Bog hopper feet, I call them.
I think the hardest training for the feet is to just stand on a linoleum or hardwood floor for hours and hours, barefoot.
Yeah,
that starts to actually get painful.
Walking on concrete and that done mining. Is there anybody new that wants to speak up or have a chat about something? Don't be shy. We don't bite. Well, I'm not sure about Dandelion, but
Dandelion's got such a wonderful voice. It rings like so much confidence in it.
I know, right?
Logos is my foil there. He keeps me honest. Yeah, I did hear that. I'm not even. I'm taking a back seat here for the silver and golds here. But yeah, so they'll be safe, right, Logos? I won't be after him.
There we go. There we go. Come on, people, speak up. Don't be shy. Anyone? No.
There's no hard hitters in here today. You guys can take me out real quick. Especially if you show me a drop of water and show me how water curves using that drop. That might be enough to push me over the edge. I'm just saying, though. While supplies last, get it while it's hot.
They've gone all shy.
Right.
Miguel, anything?
Hello. Yeah, I call them water benders.
Yeah. Instead of the air benders, the water benders.
Right.
You're just a bender.
We just call them the mind benders. Hey, Leon, anything?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's happening, fool?
Hey, I'm so happy to be here, man.
Oh, nice. You got a topic you'd like to talk about?
No, not really, man. No, not really.
Okay.
This morning I was just watching some. I was curious to see videos of people visiting Antarctica, and yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to comment on that. I'm just listening to you guys speak and stuff.
Yeah, the little ice shelf that they're allowed to visit with the 3 penguins. Yeah, it's quite cute, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So why was you watching videos on that?
Because I've spoken with people personally. I used to work in a hotel in the city of Ushuaia, and in like in Argentina, and I used to ask them, when they came back, when they come back from the excursion, I would ask them, how was the excursion, and they would all tell me, like, they would be like, oh man, it was like amazing. And I would ask myself, like, why would it be amazing? I mean, I wasn't into, I didn't know about, um, I didn't know anything about flat Earth, and I would be like, why would it be amazing? And I would think, like, why would somebody want to, do an excursion? I mean, you have to be a little bit weird. But everybody would tell me how amazing it was, right? And yeah.
Maybe
would they use that exact word? They use that actual word, amazing.
Yeah. No, they would say amazing. They would be like, yeah, it's like
the answer is in the word, bro. The answer is in the word amazing. A maison. A maison.
Maybe they were fans of Jesse Lee Peterson. Amazing.
Yeah, they were builders. You know what I mean? Builders, bro.
Yeah, and then
well, that's not the etymology of the word amazing. So,
thank you, Memes.
Yeah, I mean, usually people don't go with much expectations. I think they normally come like back more like usually the experience. It seems that it's more than what you want, more than what you expect. It is. Yeah. I believe that it is something different. I've never done the excursion myself, but it does seem to be some. And it's one of those like things that it's not, you don't see promoted, like maybe other places seem to be more promoted, like hot beaches and things like that. Caribbean islands, you never really see like promoted, like,
doesn't sound a lot of fun, really, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't sound like a lot of fun, no. So, but
you're new to flat Earth then, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
You're new to the idea and everything.
I think I'm always gonna be new at flat Earth, man, because I've been watching videos since 2006, and I always feel like I'm in the same place, man. I'm like just.
Where are you at the moment then?
2006.
Yeah.
You're saying there was flat Earth videos on YouTube in 2006?
No. Sorry, I meant 2016. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what did you learn?
What was your question?
What did you learn from these videos?
A whole bunch of proof and just debunking, like the globe. Always very, it really inspires you to question yourself, not only about the shape of the Earth, obvious, but a whole bunch of things,
So what's your best evidence then?
The best evidence?
Yeah, what was the one that really got you and like, oh yeah?
That's a good question. The boat, over the horizon, maybe. Yeah, because that's usually. No, definitely no. But that's what normally. That's the most common one, that people grasp into. Like, what about the ships? Disappearing over the horizon.
How many flat earthers do you talk to prior to this?
What was that?
I'm just curious how you know that's the normal one that gets people. How many flat earthers have you talked to and associated with prior to this? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. I don't talk about it to a lot of people. I've probably spoken proudly. Well, I mean, like, very few, man. Very few. Maybe 5 people at most. Maybe 6.
And the boats is what got all those people? Is that where you're getting your numbers from, or your thoughts, opinions on it? As far as like you said, that's the one that gets all the people. So I was just wondering how many people you're referring to.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe like, I don't know. I mean, like, but most people ask, that's what they. But
What do you think's so difficult about that one for them that they can't understand it?
What do I think is so different?
Why is it so difficult for them to understand the boats over the horizon?
They just don't go beyond that. They just don't go beyond it. They don't know that you can. They don't. You don't know. They don't know that it's just unknown. They just don't know the fact that you can just grab a tool to see further. They just don't know that you can see further.
What about when you tell them though? What do they say after that?
Oh, they immediately. I mean, I think it's a matter of resistance. I think the people. It's not just the fact that they don't have information. I think that it comes along with resistance, because immediately, automatically, they come up with something else and they ignore the first that. So there's always something else and something else and something else. So
yeah, we call that gish galloping. You got to hold them to the point. Don't let them move you around onto nonsense. Hold them to the point.
Yeah, so there's a lot of resistance, and so there's nothing much you can. I mean, you can either just drop it. I normally drop it because when you are speaking to a friend, or you don't want to just. Sometimes you just don't. But but if it's if the situation is appropriate and you're talking to the right person, the best thing you can do is just kind of be curious about their perspective. Just put yourself in their place. I mean, in a genuine way, and just try to have a decent conversation without letting conflict come in, which is hard.
Try to give them any links or present any videos or documentaries, because it works. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't see myself with like I don't think I have enough authority, to be. I mean, I could, I can send links, but
the truth alone in itself gives you full authority, bro, over something that's not true. Regardless of their socioeconomical background, how old they are, or anything, if you're speaking the truth, that gives you the authority.
And remember, if somebody had walked up to you and tried talking about this, you'd have dismissed them because you weren't.
No.
The videos gave you that frame of reference to understand that there are better explanations on the flat Earth side. You see, so maybe by sharing documentaries, just get some cheap USB sticks and just hand them out with flat Earth documentaries on it. Documents. Well, at the end of the day, that's best way to do it. Really, there's no point having a conversation with somebody who's intellectually deficient and informationally deficient.
I'm a little bit selfish in that sense. I just kind of keep it to myself. But I really admire people that stand up, and they they create content. Because without that, but I'm not in that position, at least not for the moment. But
yeah, that's cool. What made you want to search flat Earth? Have you been into other conspiracies or?
It came to me, man. I didn't really search it, it just came to me, and I remember, I mean, it's like the typical case. I don't, one of those old ones, that they did the measurement with the sticks, and
I've seen hundreds of those.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I remember my first time very well. You know what I mean? I'll never forget my first time.
No, but you don't remember the video, do you?
Oh yeah, I'll never forget my first time, bro. I don't even remember. I don't even remember the first girl I slept with, but I'll never forget my first time with Flat Earth, bro. It was Eric Dubé video, and it was about maybe 8 to 12 minutes into the video, and I wasn't paying any attention, and something it said made me stop in my tracks, and it's like everything else around me like blacked out, and I was just like tunnel vision on this, And then I was like Pitbull. Like I was a flat earther by midnight, like hardcore.
You climaxed 8 minutes in?
Yeah, for real. I'll never forget my first time, dude.
You get better with the experience.
We never forget our first.
Right?
No, but finally something made sense. You know, I'm not exaggerating. Like finally, I think everybody, like if you are honest, like with yourself, I mean, maybe I'm, you know, I don't want to be using other people's, you know, words, but I think in my case, like for sure, like it never really clicked for me, you know, like, but when I first watched my first, second, definitely third video, I was like, okay, finally I can understand something, you know, finally something makes sense. And I'm sure of that. I can tell you that it makes sense to me, you know. If another theory makes sense to you, that's you know, but to me, like what I learned, like way they present you at school, you know, it doesn't really, to me, never really clicked. And maybe subconsciously or whatever, I was like, I always looked for something else, you know. I mean, we're talking about the shape of the Earth, or we're talking about, like, you know, it's a big deal, yeah.
So what other things have you looked into?
I've always been interested in psychology, you know, and the mind and spirituality.
I think you're referring to other conspiracies, right?
Oh, yeah. Other conspiracies?
Yeah.
Have you looked at anything else?
In terms of conspiracies, no, the one before was the moon landing, and then right after that, yeah.
It's the identity of lies.
Now my opinion of NASA changed. I mean, like, it went from, actually I had some admiration for NASA even after knowing that that they faked it, because I was like, damn, how did they guys? Yeah, I was like, how did they guys? Like, these guys did an amazing job. I mean, I gave credit to them, you know, like, I mean,
you give credit to Kubrick.
Yeah, no, I give them credit. I was like, dude, they made America look so badass, you know, and they did a really good job.
Well, to be honest, it wasn't that hard to fool people back then, was it? You know,
I don't know.
They could have put them on the set of Space 1999, and I don't think people would have noticed.
Right.
Yeah. So my thing was, like, I was like giving them credit. I'm like, these guys are fucking awesome. I mean, what they did, you know. And but then then when I got in touch with Flat Earth, I was like, oh shit, this is like, this is a little bit darker. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm still fascinated by how the world is, you know, even though it might seem fucked up. I'm still able to see things with, like, the perspective of an artist once in a while, and I'm like, this world that we live in, it's pretty crazy, you know. It's amazing that we're alive, dude.
So you've stopped looking into conspiracy theories now?
No, I'm always like, not really, actually. You know, as long as I mean, like, no, I'm not. What do you mean? Because conspiracy theories, I don't understand. Like,
think about this, bro. If every source that you find out something from somehow puts a globe or says the globe in that story, if this was a court of law, they'd be nullifying the whole story, making everything they said null and void, right? So you got to think any information you're hearing from anywhere, if they're representing the globe and what they say, then you may want to question the whole source if you don't believe in the globe. I'm just saying, though.
Yeah.
So once you learned about the moon landing being fake and Earth being flat, have you looked at anything else, or
maybe John Wilkes Booth or something?
I can't really think of anything, you know, in terms of conspiracy. You know, the dinosaurs, like, definitely that was another one, because I was like, damn, that one that got debunked. You know, I was like, shit. Yeah, that was another.
Are you bummed out about that?
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't get into, like, a lot into it, but just after watching a few videos, I was like, yeah, I don't believe in dinosaurs anymore. Damn. Like, yeah.
It's kind of a big deal. My dad spent a lot of money on dinosaur toys for me when I was a kid.
Yeah,
you know? Not that to take away from them being toys, because they were toys.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
We got what we paid for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was the evidence that got you with the dinosaurs then?
No evidence. No evidence. Just I mean, you normally don't question, what is presented. I mean, just you don't. I mean, maybe you do, but most people don't. I mean, you just believe in dinosaurs because you see it in you see them in history books and stuff. So
because they're real, right? Because they look so real.
Exactly, dude.
They're so anatomically correct. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, giant predator with 2 legs. That makes sense.
Right.
And the giant eggs. Yeah.
Yeah. How would they mate? Anyway.
Very carefully.
Right. I always think about it like this. If NASA is for real and there really is the ISS up there, it's only one of two things, bro. They're up there spending $66 million or $61 million a day, which comes out to like $11,000 something a second of our money to play around with food, make believe like they're doing stuff up there, and they're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with that.
They're doing stuff. I saw him play guitar.
Yeah, but the music sucks. Yeah, but they suck at playing guitar.
Oh, it'll be back in.
I wouldn't buy the record. No, but I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, what have they done, like, productively? I mean, if you think about it, no, but seriously, if you think about this if you see it from a capitalist free market perspective, like, what have they provided to society with? I mean, besides promises, like, what have they provided? And I was asking myself this question, and I remember, and I thought about WD-40, right? I'm like, isn't that a product from NASA, right? And I was like, maybe that's it. But then I think that they didn't. I think with WD-40, as you know, I mean, I think what they've done is, like, they bought the license or something. I don't know. So,
Thinking of Tang.
Huh?
Tang.
Yeah, like in a from a free market capitalist perspective, right? Like, there's no way a company can survive, like, without producing anything.
He won't know what Tang is, Flatter Day Saints.
What up?
He won't know what Tang is. He's not old enough to know what Tang is.
Oh yeah, that's true. Probably not, huh?
Old enough to know what?
What Tang is.
Oh,
what is Tang?
Tang is a drink. It's an orange flavored Kool-Aid drink.
An orange flavor.
Kool-Aid drink.
It's Kool-Aid, basically. Before Kool-Aid came out, they had Tang. It was a citrus flavored drink, like orange juice flavored.
Oh, dude, we still have that in Argentina, man.
Exactly.
And that's what Flatter Day Saints was thinking NASA had the rights to.
Yeah. Supposedly that's what they're known for, creating Tang. But it's orange, that's their color.
I prefer Fanta myself. Based and red pilled.
I prefer H2O.
That's because you're weird.
So the WD-40, it says it's water displacement 40 formula. It said it took 40 attempts to get the water displacement formula to work. But on the 40th attempt, they got it right in a big way. It's so funny. It's almost like they're mocking Jesus' 40-day fast. Everything they do is just mockery, dude.
You don't think that's mockery? Come on, dude.
Right?
Yeah, didn't they spend millions and millions to invent a ballpoint pen that worked upside down? The Russians just used a pencil, though.
Right.
I saw that as an advert. It was really funny. So, Velcro, Tang memory foam, the crowning achievements. And they can grow potatoes, apparently.
And it's the ISS isn't grounded in any way, right? So if you're running around there with socks on, the consequences could be disastrous.
That's where they've got the funny hair. That makes sense now.
Right?
It's like touching one of those static balls.
Right?
Somebody put a gift for that.
Did you know that if you charge yourself up with enough static electricity, you can knock aluminum cans over with your finger from a distance?
Yeah.
And you can levitate. Woo!
So I saw a thing where one of the how they have like these giant rollout solar panels that roll out like giant rectangular shaped wings. One of them got stuck once, and they had to go out there with a special tool that was like copper plated or something. I can't remember what the tool was, but it was so they wouldn't shock themselves. And I thought that was so hilarious because what's grounding the ISS? It's not grounded in anything.
Unless the sky is liquid.
So so on Earth you'd be able to ground something inside of a liquid. Is that what you're saying? I'm not
I said, unless the sky above the sky is water, then that would ground just fine.
Okay. So water can ground some. Like, what would you have water in that could ground something on Earth?
Just think water above, water below.
No. I'm understanding. I'm asking you because I don't know. That's what I'm asking because I'd like to learn. Like, how would you ground something in water, like down here?
I don't know.
With ice? Like, what do you mean, like freezing the water? You mean?
No.
What is
Never
current?
mind.
What is current?
Water and electricity.
No. Current, well, yeah, but current is the flow of something, right?
Okay.
Right.
So something flows downwards towards the ground. Wouldn't it make sense that above us is water that moves down over us towards the ground? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm not quite following.
We live in an air bubble. We're in an air pocket underwater.
Yeah, I understand that, but I thought you really meant that you could ground something like in water. Never mind, bro.
No, what I'm...
Yeah.
Wait.
There's no way of like proving the dome, right? Is there a way of proving the existence of a dome?
Well, second law of thermodynamics, pretty much.
Besides knowing there has to be a barrier. Well, we could with NASA, but obviously nobody believes what NASA puts out, so that makes it difficult.
There's also a balloon that kind of scrapes across it, as well as a few rockets that hit something interesting around 120,000 feet. So you can check those out. You're into watching videos, so type in rocket hits dome and you'll have a few suggestions in your search bar.
Well, if you haven't come to that conclusion in your research, well, what I'm saying. there is an antecedent to gas pressure that is a barrier. So we know there's a barrier. We don't know what it's made of. We don't know what shape it is, but we know there's some kind of barrier, right? Whether it be water above us being held up by some kind of magnetic field, or whether it's some kind of solid dome or whatever, there's still something up there stopping the pressure from escaping, right?
I think they also used lasers to prove there was some type of dome where if you cross the paths of the lasers, it should make an X through the sky as far up as you can see. But at a certain point, they just stop, and you could meet both of the points at the laser at that spot, maybe determine the height.
There's like hundreds of videos on YouTube of amateur rocket launches. I just posted one right now.
Could it be that there is gas up there?
What do you mean?
Just a layer. Gas, just like because like balloons go up, and we could assume that there's like a layer of something lighter than air, probably gas, no, up there, like a layer at least of.
If you watch the video, and there's more than just this one, when this rocket stops angular momentum, you hear a noise, a very specific noise, like a stone being dropped into a pond. You hear
like
this bloop sound. So whatever's up there is viscous. It's not solid.
And it doesn't.
Also a trumpet that plays when you go.
Yeah, that's one of the craziest thing about those scenes. That it doesn't. You don't see the rocket explode. Kind of like absorbs the impact, like if Superman would have stopped it or something,
Well, you can see it slowed down, so it hits.
Yeah, it's almost like someone grabs hold of it with their hand and just stops it.
Well, it still spins, just a lot slower. So yeah,
it's amazing.
Is there doing something?
Oh, you're talking about the video?
Yeah, the rocket video. And if you look at what Level is just posted, that was I think a SpaceX one, and it looks like wash. So if you ever see a speedboat or a jet ski, and you have the water behind it, that looks very similar to that, like a wash.
Or like a bullet's ballistic test, when they test the ballistics of a bullet and they fire it into silicone.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got a meme for you.
Uh-oh. Be afraid, everyone.
Here he comes.
So, yeah, this tells us something's there. Whether it's permeable, whether it's this, whether it's that.
Mm.
It's okay to not know something too, bro. You know what I
mean? Yeah, totally.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's much more honorable than to go about like the heathens do and pretend things. They just keep making more and more lies to cover the first lie.
You think you need to have an answer for everything, to be intelligent or smart or something, and you don't. It's fine if you don't know. That's what spurs on curiosity and interest in how we figure things out. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I would say that was more than just interest. I would say that would be a quinky dink.
That's about the best we can do at the moment until funds are diverted to actually. They may already know what all of this is,
but that's not necessarily proof of anything. Of course, it's just makes you wonder, right?
Yeah, it's observations.
But going back to the point, it's like, I much rather know little than,
Well, you have to unlearn all the lies you've been told.
I prefer to know little.
Know very little than believe.
They know a lot. Yeah, they know a lot that is just not valid. I don't think we need invalid information like in our lives. I don't think that's necessary.
Well, it's also recognizing when it's invalid and moving to what is true and correct. A lot of people can't do that. Look how many globies can't do that.
Globies.
Self-evident, isn't it? Flat Earth is what you observe every day. But they love their balls and they cling to them as hard as you can imagine.
We all love our balls.
I think you can believe, you can believe in anything you want, after all. Like, it's fine. Just like you can believe in any religion. You're free to believe in any religion.
Like the globe.
Belief is the globe.
The globe is the biggest religion.
It's not like people are coming to it out of their own volition, though. They're being brainwashed with it.
Yeah, they're unfortunate of the National Education Association.
If nobody would have ever taught you live on a globe, nobody would ever mention it, you would never think that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to tests and observations and measurements, Flat Earth wins every time. I mean, they can't even provide a simple curvature, mathematics or calculation or observation. I mean, really? It's been like, 10 years, 15 years since this broke, and still nothing. Crickets. All sophistry, all nonsense. None of them do any testing. They just want to sit and yap. Yap. If they actually went out and tested, then they'd figure it out in about 30 seconds.
What they are is they're communicators. They're very well-trained communicators, and they communicate things in a certain way.
Propagandists.
Are you sure they're not very well-trained rocks?
Yeah, right? Crack clocks.
Well, not bad for a rock, I guess, then.
Cheers, Adam. Adam posted the link for everyone to check out with the lasers from Hawaii proving the firmament. So,
with lasers.
Give that a look. See what you think.
That's crazy.
Are they saying it's proof because it stops at a certain point and doesn't keep going?
I think it's to do with the fact that when they tried to cross them, it doesn't work at a certain point. I think that may be what they're talking about. From what Adam said, I might be wrong. Don't cross the streams.
Yeah, that's my understanding of it too. That because they don't cross it, shows that they're hitting something. They continue on.
Okay, that makes sense. What did you say, Rookie?
Don't cross your Johnsons either.
Oh my gosh. Don't tell us about what you do in your extracurricular activities, my friend. Go drink some Tang.
Some Tangent Orange.
Mm-hmm. Some Agent Orange in a can.
Right. With their tangent lines.
What's that, Rookie?
Cry me some tangent tears.
The tangent line is exactly 33 degrees.
Do you know about that stuff, Leon?
33 tang.
Oh
no, I don't know. What is it? What is it?
Poontang.
Oh no,
No,
bad
I don't
rookie.
know.
It's one of their favourite numbers, 33.
Oh, I'm sorry. Poontang.
The leaders of NASA like the
Trey
number
Trays,
33.
the CCs.
Buzz Aldrin is a great fan of 33. And he was a 32.
He's probably a 33rd by now. He's earned it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
No, the 333rd degree is the best one.
303.
Yeah. Isn't 333 is a good number, right? I thought 33 and 333 were good numbers. 666, the bad one.
It just depends.
No, because 3 becomes 6 and 9. Come on, think about it.
It depends whether you're using Chaldean or, British or whichever.
British got different numbers?
Yeah, there's different gematria, different numbers, different things. So.
Ah, jeez.
So you said
it's really
a triple 3 degree? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I was born on the 333rd day of the year.
Oh my God, he's an agent. Get him out of here.
Straight up.
Get him out. Get him out.
What day is the 333rd day?
You could Google it. You could Google it. I'm not going to say my birthday, but anybody could Google it.
Well, if anybody can Google it,
November.
Yeah, right.
It's November 20 something. 28.
It's like
it's a double master number. The 29th, 11/29.
Have you figured it yet, Leon?
no. I'm still like wondering, like, how did you came up with the day of the number of your birthday? Like, I've never figured that out.
December 31st would be the 365th day of the year. So
yeah, so just work backwards from there.
Or
is that right? Okay.
Only on leap year.
November 23rd.
Oh, 22nd. Okay. My daughter
I'm so
was
lazy with numbers.
What's that, Leon?
Really lazy with numbers.
Oh, yeah, they like numbers. You got to be symbol literate and number literate.
There's too many of them.
Okay, check this. Yeah, it's quite interesting the names they pick. Like it's quite curious. I was watching the in regards with the video I was watching this morning. So these guys were on the trip, towards Antarctica, right? And they crossed the what is this the Drake Passage, where you get the massive waves sometimes, and before arriving to the coast of Antarctica, right? And usually the first, so they're like, okay, we were finally, arriving at so they arrive at the first place, at the first island that normally they reach when they do this this excursion. And guess what the name of this island is in the Antarctica?
Rothschild.
No.
No idea.
Deception. No.
Deception.
Deception.
Oh, Point Deception.
What a name, man! What a name for an island, dude.
Isn't that what NASA in Hebrew is to deceive, isn't it?
NASA.
Nasa means to lift high above the clouds, like basically, and then Nasha is to deceive. But if you take their logo, like here, I'll just draw it out real quick.
Serpent tongue, yeah.
Watch. Yeah, I mean, and this were normal people. They were not skeptical, nothing related with flat Earth. just normal people, just doing their excursion. And wow, we finally arrived to the island Deception. I was like, holy, yeah, I was like, oh, I was like, what a name.
Oh, okay.
What a name. I mean, you couldn't you have thought about, I don't know, maybe your name or something. I don't know, something more.
The forked tongue.
So you take the letter, the N and the S, you add them together. It's 33, and their A's don't have a bottom part, so you just flip one upside down, so you have their symbol with the 33 right in the name.
My God.
Very skeptical, huh?
You think it's by accident? Just a coinkydink?
I think you're taking it too far, man.
Yeah, because rocket scientists aren't precise about numbers or letters or anything like that. It's just pretty much random, by the seat of their pants kind of stuff. So I could understand if it's just random, you know what I mean?
No, I mean most probably they think about it. They don't. I don't think they do random things. They
You never know.
like. I mean, they've been using that strip, the red strip, forever. Like, why do they keep putting
the forked tongue?
We don't know. Like, they keep it there, huh? They keep it there. Like, I mean,
what
does it mean?
Really,
they have to do that, bro, to tell you. They're telling you, like the frog, the snake that gave the frog a ride across the river, and he says, "You promise you're not going to bite me?" And he says, "No, I promise." And then he bites him. He goes, "Why'd you bite me for?" He's a snake. That's what he does. Yeah.
It's in their nature.
Yeah. It wouldn't be fun if they didn't rep it.
What do you think of that badge, Leon?
Yeah. Did you post it something? No.
Yeah, live stream voice text.
Let me see. Let me see. Image of this ISS?
No, above it.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you think of that one?
Where'd you get this from? It's a nice little logo.
Yeah, it's one of their badges.
It's quite cute.
Do you know what it means?
They shall not pass 8 states warning. Is this from NASA?
It's one of the squadrons, like missile squadrons or something like that.
It's pretty cute. I've never seen this one before.
Yeah, most haven't.
It's like a video game, Asteroids, with a spider on it.
Yeah, it reminds me of this one somewhat. Weaving spiders come not here.
NGO, NGO, and bingo was his name of.
Okay, calm down. What do you make of that, Leon? Interesting, eh?
They are the pre-curers and what are they? What's the other one? Damn it, I lost it.
You've got a weaving spider. They shall pass.
Which you look at above. The above as below, no left. I think what it's trying to tell you is that you're inside of an experiment.
Anybody
An
new?
experiment, you're not allowed to leave.
Anybody new that has any questions? Anyone got any interesting theories or ideas?
Do I hear crickets again?
Somewhat. Leon.
Yeah, what's up with your accent, man? Where are you at?
What? Angleterre.
Inglaterra.
Sounds French.
This guy doesn't sound French.
That guy doesn't have an accent. He's not cool enough.
But you have a soft British accent, is that right?
Yeah.
It's quite soft. You are Americanized, I think, eh?
No.
Yeah.
It's just what we call our telephone voice. We try to enunciate so that we can be understood.
I think I don't mean to flatter you, but I think you got like you guys have the best accent.
Thank you. Some of them like it.
Hey.
Well, I wouldn't say that he has the best accent, but some of them British.
No, he does. Come on, man.
Come on, guys, recognize.
Look at him. He sounds so Polish. No, is that the word?
Polish.
Polish? Is that a word? No.
Yeah.
You were talking about that earlier.
You sound polished, bro.
Polish. No, that's not what I.
Oh, right.
Well, fancy. Fancy? Is that a better word?
Would you like a example for that?
Posh is the.
Posh. Yes, that's it.
No,
Thank you.
certainly not that.
But in a good sense. In a good sense of the word.
Yeah, this is as I say, this is how we try to speak when we want to be understood. Otherwise, yeah, we'd all sound like commoners, and you wouldn't really understand us.
Let me just spend it every last.
Hey, Logris, this here's for silver and gold. You're only copper. You need to beat it.
You shut your mouth, boy.
Yeah,
you give me gold right now.
The only bronze.
That means I'm above all of you. That's what that means. Copper beats gold and silver.
Spot, isn't it?
I think you hit a nerve there, Garlic.
Yeah, I tried to. That's all right. Logris, he understands. He understands he's the minority here.
Just for now.
I'll try not to say anything on that one.
We're all the minority in here sometimes.
So what's going on? What's going on? What's the topic?
Just trying to find something to talk about. There's a couple of lurkers who won't speak up. Leon is speaking up. He worked at some hotel where they had Antarctic tours. So he's been telling us about his experiences.
Because I was pulling out in front of that car.
Oh, this is not precious metals. It says it live now,
No,
silver
it's
and
silver
gold
and
live. Oh,
That's what
what does that mean?
Live.
Oh, I see. I didn't realize they had that. This must be new.
Well, if you see, then maybe you see.
Now all we need is where's the globe? Where's the glober then?
Well, we don't have one, I guess. We were talking.
We don't have one. Oh,
it appears that we don't have an argument.
I think they all left.
So we were just, going at each other right now.
Yeah.
I see.
We were just practicing.
Actually, I actually started it by asking somebody kind of like, what makes a person a troll? Like, how do you think that a person becomes a troll? And what's the difference between the types of troll? But then it kind of evolved into different stuff.
A very low IQ. Very low IQ is required to even think about being a troll.
No, my question was, okay, so you have different kinds of trolls, right? You have people that just generally think something's stupid, right? They think that people must be crazy to believe it, right? Kind of like Sasquatch or whatever, aliens and all that. And then after a while, they start to look into it. They might actually find some evidence or might actually see something on their own to say, maybe give them some impression, right? And then they go and investigate, right? And now once you investigate it, you would think that it would go one way or the other, right? It would either be, you'd figure it out, you'd understand why, you would either understand why the people were believing what they were believing, or you might agree with them, right? But you wouldn't necessarily hate the people, right? So what motivates a person psychologically to make them angry enough to actually become a troll and come in and destroy?
Very low IQ. They can't figure it out. They don't understand any of that stuff. They don't understand real life. They don't understand what it means to be a real human being and act normal to someone. All they can think about is to make fun and put themselves on a pedestal when they're actually the person that's the stupidest person in the room. I mean, it's an IQ problem, dude. It really is.
It's a skill set you pick up over time. You can figure out the persistent debate trolls and those that pretend to be, flat earthers and aren't. You figure it out after an amount of time.
Talking mean about everybody.
Yep.
I like it.
You're hot micing God rocking.
Mute,
Orion. That friend right now.
That was my sister saying, "You guys are a bunch of shit talkers." I said, "Yeah, you're right."
And I said, "I like it."
Then she said she liked it. I'm riding up the canyon. We're going. It's Memorial Day. We're going to put some flowers on the grave. So.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that's lovely.
Nice little drive.
Nice little drive. What's up, canyon? It's called Sardine Canyon, Sardine Canyon.
Oh, nice.
It's about.
Why don't you just put her on the phone then?
You want to talk to my sister?
Well, it sounds like she's got a lot to say. I'm just saying, maybe she wants to talk to us.
All right, here you go. Here you go. Put these on.
I can't. She can't talk. Sorry. You can talk while you're driving.
Oh, come on. No, seriously. What were you saying? We can't really hear what you're saying, so we were wondering what you were talking about.
I can't. Sorry, there's a car behind me.
You can't multitask. You can't drive and talk at the same time.
And I've got to get going.
Bad rookie.
And adjust it.
I was just saying.
What'd you say?
Usually, I was just saying. Usually, people that have a lot to say will talk, and so maybe I don't know.
Yeah, she does sound like she's got a lot to say.
I just posted some pictures of Sardine Canyon for people.
She's still saying stuff. I can hear her.
Yeah, she's not talking to us.
Talking to my mom.
Yeah, there's other people in the car.
Okay.
I'm just. Who is it? I'm just gonna mute her because of privacy. It's obviously she's speaking to someone else.
That's God rocking. Mute God rocking.
In the car, I've got my headphones on. She can't hear you, and I just flipped my mic up. So go your jets and carry on with your business.
Oh, dude.
All right.
Mute him anyway.
That's messed up, bro. Mute Logers. That'll make him stress.
Hey, Orion. How's things? Uh-oh. He's going all shy.
It's a moot point, right?
Where's one of the lurkers? No. Got no one else.
What's happening?
Hey, Sean's come back. That's good. He can say hello to everyone. Shame. Bad Sean.
Who's Zarn?
He's doing a presentation, but it's next week now. It should have been after this, whatever this is.
He needed some more time.
Anybody who has that many roles has got to be.
What many roles?
Talking about Zarn or however you say that.
I'll go ahead and say it. It's an inferiority complex. They got to be cooler than everyone else.
He's only 16.
I'm just teasing. Don't take that serious, guys.
It's cool.
I'm just being mean.
You got to remember, he's only 16, so his head's full of nonsense, and going to be difficult for him to unravel it. But hopefully, he'll figure it out.
Yeah, weather is a topic to talk about. I was listening to it previously.
What did you think?
Well, I don't have much thought about it. I mean, what can I say? About global warming, guys. You guys were talking about global warming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The globe is warming catastrophically.
Did you understand the point that Memeless made to Sean?
Yes.
Oh.
Leon?
Yeah. Sorry, what was that?
I was just asking Leon if he understood the point that Memeless made to Sean.
Oh.
Sort of. I mean, you were talking about a comparison. I didn't really grasp it that much.
Basically, if you say something is abnormal, you need to have a normal to know if it's abnormal, right?
Right.
So if you don't have a normal, how do you know something's abnormal?
Yeah, I know it was a good interesting conversation. I think what was the kid's name?
Sean.
Shaw. Okay. Yeah, are you there, Shaw?
Zarn, this guy who's here right now.
He's there.
No, I think they both had an interesting point. Like I said, I don't really have, I mean, if you want my opinion about it, it's, I think I think somehow they try to make us believe that the Earth is vulnerable and fragile. So anything that comes from that narrative, like me personally, right? I just kind of, I don't listen to it. I don't think that the Earth, it's like we don't live in a fragile. But I don't know. That's how much I believe about the topic.
You just have to follow their lies. They told us there was going to be an ice age in 1973. It was all in the magazine. All the scientists knew there was going to be an ice age. Was there an ice age? No. So when people say about global warming, climate change, again, how do they know that things aren't progressing as they are supposed to? Who is the judge on saying whether something is abnormal?
It's a good point. I don't know.
And it's typically all about controlling people. They're going to blame them for this, that, and the other. And then what happens now? People are recycling. People are doing this. It's basically green on the outside, red on the inside. It's the same old tricks. And pretty much recycling is a complete scam. We used to use glass for pretty much everything. Why did we go away from using glass? That was recyclable. You put your milk bottles in the crate, they got taken away, they got washed, they got reused, they got brought back. So why did we switch to plastic?
I don't know.
Well, there you go.
Slow poison, slow death and poisoning and cancer. Big pharma has a lot to gain from plastic bottles.
And most of the plastic isn't recyclable or recycled because they can't meet their quotas, their weight quotas. They mostly do it through glass and paper. But yeah, when you look into it, it's just about controlling them, manipulating the population, making them to blame for something, charging them carbon footprint taxes and all this nonsense. When carbon is good, carbon dioxide is good for the environment and plants and humans and everything else.
Yeah, did you see the WEF guy talking about that like a day ago? How that's exactly what they're working towards is the individual trackers for carbon footprint.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Here, I'll get you.
Yeah.
I'll get you.
Yeah, post the link. Cheers.
Yeah, he was on stage and said it flat out. He's like, it's not ready yet, but what we are working on is a individualized carbon footprint tracker for each human being on the planet.
And how much to charge you for existing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Regardless if there's more carbon in the air and the plants get greener and they soak up more carbon,
Yeah. And humans are the only ones that have to pay rent. I don't know who we're paying rent to exactly, but no other animal has to do that, just humans. So, yeah. And again, it's just more manipulation, more of the boot tightening around the throat, and people will just continually accept it. Especially if it's incremental and slowly. The totalitarian tiptoe. So, yeah. People have to look behind and see what it's really about. It's typically not what they tell you. There's a lot more to it. I think David Attenborough was against the... how many different names has it had? Greenhouse gases, global warming, climate change. It's gone through 4, 5, 6 different names. But yeah, there's a lot of scientists that disagree with it. The ones that agree with it, funnily enough, are getting funded to agree with it. It's just a lot more.
I put a screenshot in chat, but let me see if I can get the actual video for you. Oh, here we go.
Brilliant. Yeah, isn't it great that?
Yeah. Watch that video real quick.
What's his name? The Microsoft guy went to give a speech about global warming on one of his 4 private jets. Gates, that's him, Bill Gates.
I mean, that's big. No, that's really big. I mean, if they actually do that, I mean, that's massive.
What you mean in here?
I think that's...
No, it was 2:27.
Mimas.
3:09. She has 18 minutes.
Mimas. You're hot micing, dude. Go on, Leon.
That would be like complete control, because they would be controlling, like, for example, your life entirely. Like, you want to buy a new pair of shoes. Oh, let me check. You still have... yes, you can buy them. Okay, that's fine. What about travel? If for example, I want to travel to somewhere.
The shoes is a good point, though. It's even worse than that, though, because they'll start regulating how much carbon footprint it took to create those shoes. So, like,
exactly,
you might not even be able to get the shoes that you want to get.
No. Yeah, exactly. So it's like a communism where they control, for example, the amount of money that you receive. It's the same concept, but applied differently.
Well,
so everything takes... if you want to travel, guess what, right? If you want to buy, for example, a video game, guess what? If you want anything, right?
I think it was also like a world record was set to the World Economic Forum this year, that it was something like 1,500 private jets flew to the event.
They're going to tie this in with the social credit score as well.
Yeah, but those are electric jets, so that doesn't count.
Oh, right. Those were electric jets. Okay.
They've made a bunch of new agreements that the world economics have to move towards this green accord, whatever, and the economics are going to be linked to reducing the carbon print, and you won't be able to do commerce if you're polluting the planet and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, none of that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I am 100%. I am 100% convinced they're not going to do any of that. It's kind of like saying, "Hey, the sun's going to set," and we're dictating that the sun's going to set. Well, they're not really doing that. It's just going to happen. Like collapse is going to happen. Reset's going to happen. They're not in control of it. They just know it's going to happen.
Well, I fucking hope so.
Yeah, I don't mind any of it either. And here's the thing: when they say, "Oh, you won't own anything," you won't own anything, because if you don't have a government, who enforces contracts and ownership deeds?
The Fed in the U.S. announced that they're gonna throw all the whatever the contracts they have with the government. They're gonna sell whatever they're holding. Yeah. What is it called? The housing treasury papers they hold, whatever.
Yeah. Well,
you know what's really fucked up about so they use the sentence like, you will own nothing and you will, like, why are you using you? Why aren't you using we? Like, we are not going to have anything and we are going to be happy.
But we don't own anything.
But they don't include themselves in the.
Of course,
why do they use weird?
They're the elite. They're the elite. They're allowed to own stuff.
That's not fair, bro. That's not fair, dude.
Life's not fair, man.
No, but it's weird how they don't say we. They should be saying we.
My thing is, it's like
in any
this.
case,
it's
right?
like,
I mean, I don't agree with it anyway.
They're pretending they have built a control center for a ship that they do not control, and they're play acting that they're in control of everything. They're not in control of anything. I don't think they have any control. I think they're trying to cope with where they think the ship is going, but they don't have any idea. Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think they have any control.
They can't even clean their toilet. They need workers to clean their toilets and make their coffees. And
yeah,
I like that version. I like that version. I like thinking like that, because sometimes I think very, very negatively, and I go like, wow, they've been controlling reality since time immemorial. But that's a pessimistic. That's not realistic, no.
Yeah,
they've been manipulating your emotions, the people's emotions. They've been manipulating that, and people react, and they, yeah.
That's right. They have the prison, or the construct is all an illusion. All of their power is an illusion. All of it. Like, I mean, what are they gonna like? Look at the United States. The United States is 98% uninhabited, or 94% uninhabited. You could never control the United States. You could never occupy the United States. Nukes aren't real. What are they going to do? What are they going to do?
Yeah. Soldiers gotta sleep, eat, take a piece. Meet with their wives,
and despite people's popular opinion, the United States military will never turn against its own country, because they know full well that the people of the United States are not going to fight the army. They're going to go after the families of soldiers who are invading.
I feel you on that. But what about what they show us, these Boston Dynamics, bipedal robots? That's just what they're showing us, man.
Hold on. Have you touched
have
one?
I seen it? Oh, okay. Fair. That's fair. Fair enough.
Have you touched one?
I mean, it could be. Yeah.
Transformers was a cool movie too.
I mean, I personally haven't, and then I haven't seen like the little dog one running around. But like hypothetically, if they did have that though.
all of it's just propaganda. All of it is just, here's another thing they could have waiting on you.
If we got
And
a
it's
bunch of T9000s running around, then
I'll tell you this. Civilizational collapse. The safest person isn't someone who's stocked up everything. It's not someone who's paranoid about everything the government's done. It's just someone who never paid attention. Someone who never looked at the news and just lived their life the way they want to live it. That's going to be the person in the best position because they've already shielded themselves, because most of the problems are all going to be mental. It's all going to be happening in your head.
Man, I'm pretty bunkered down right now. That doesn't sound good for me.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but like, if you've got all that stuff hoarded together, but you're in a bad mental place, like you're paranoid, none of that stuff's going to do you any good.
Well, I'd like to think I'm in a good mental place, okay?
Good. Because I think they have no idea what's going to happen. They know a reset's. I don't think the Romans knew a reset was coming. I don't think the Incans knew a reset was coming. I don't think the Babylonians knew a reset was coming. I don't think anyone ever knew. And that's why we find their ruins everywhere. Because no one had any control and no one knew why it happened. They just knew when it might happen.
What if they built the ships and they left?
Left for where?
Somewhere else, man.
Like where, to Canada?
Yeah. Agartha.
I don't think there's anywhere to go. I think they've got all these different plans. They're like, okay, we could say it's a plague. We could call it an alien invasion. There's all sorts of things that they could say it is that they've got laid out, right? All these external threats that they've got laid out that they could just point to it and say, see, we said something about this, sometime in the past. Right. That's why they're always trying to do all these predictions, and they're trying to create. It's like when a TV writer in season 1 will put a thread in somewhere so that maybe in season 3 or 4 he can pick up on it. They've laid all these threads out. Yeah. They've laid all these threads out to explain what might be happening when it starts happening so that they can look like they're in control. But they're not. They're not in any control at all. What's going to happen, no one can stop. They can't stop it. They don't know exactly what it is. And all they can do is hold on for the same ride and put on a stoic face.
Storm's coming.
So yeah, the elite are probably more terrified than the regular person. So that's my optimistic message. Is that there is no plan. It's the big conspiracy. The big conspiracy is there is no conspiracy. There's no plan at all. We have no idea.
Can you guys hear me through my car stereo?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I wanted to say I'm not so sure about that, man. I think that they likely have these supercomputers and AI that kind of run an algorithm of all the possible outcomes, and they do know more than, they know. They predicted what's going to happen, and they have contingency plans for their contingency plans. I think they're.
Well, I think they've got a lot of I think they have tons of contingency plans. But why would you need a contingency plan if you knew it was going to happen?
What's the plan when you know you're getting old and you're going to die? Like, what's the point?
To predict, there's so many possible outcomes that could happen. So,
well, like I said, they have an idea. They have an idea of what it might be, and they have all these different threads that they could explain it with. But the reality is they're not in control of it. It doesn't matter if they can predict it. It doesn't matter if they can say what it's going to be. They're not in control of it. It's going to happen no matter what.
So what you're saying is that they cannot see, like they have like a limited view, right? I mean, they can probably, they have control over like decades, maybe 10, 20, 30 or whatever. But eventually you cannot control nature or human behavior, no?
Right. I mean, they
because because they use ignorance. I mean, they use the school system, for example, right, to keep us kind of. I mean, they do. I mean, you see it in the people around you, right?
Well, it's like the
That,
school
for example,
system in the United States was actually created for factory workers because they thought factory work was going to be the future. And so just barely educate them, but make them really good at running machines or running programs or repeating tasks or being able to repeat task back to the teacher. That creates a good factory worker. It really does create a good factory worker. It doesn't create a good citizen, but does create a good factory worker.
sure. But the biggest tool that I mean, they can influence us very easily if we don't. I mean, we have, like, as human beings, like, we have a cognitive faculty. You know, we are able to rationalize. We're amazing.
But
But if
that's
they
why
keep,
they gotta push the fear constantly and 24/7 because it can just fall apart at any moment. If they stop pushing the fear and the lies, it'll just fall apart.
I will tell you this: what he says about that, when he says they push the fear, if you take my angle and you just absolutely don't be afraid of anything at all, and you just don't believe anything from any side, suddenly things just aren't so bad, because you're like, well, if there's not really anything to be afraid of, because I mean, I know the nature of the earth, and now really all I got to look out is for like my spiritual health and where I'm going with that, because that's the most important thing, isn't it?
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's like I don't believe in chemtrails either. I used to. There's a reason I don't. And it's because the source of the information is a paper from the CIA from the 1960s. I'm like, well, should I believe something from the CIA?
I don't know.
Yeah, that is the source usually. And then John Brennan with his stratospheric aerosol injections.
Yeah. Was it like the head of the CIA goes down in front of Congress 1981 and says, we'll know our disinformation campaign is working when the entirety of the American public doesn't know what the truth is, doesn't know anything, right? And I'm like, these are the guys we're believing? I got white papers from this guy. Listen to me, people. I understand what's going on. We got papers from the liars themselves. Well, that's great. So you're showing me a document from people who lie to create a false reality. Why would they make such a document? Why? And why would they release it?
To create fear.
Create fear so that you're worried about breathing. You're worried about breathing.
Wow, that's fucked up, man.
When the reality is, the air is probably fine. The air is probably fine. I'm in good shape. I've been in good shape for a long time, and I eat junk food. I drink soda.
Big confession.
Yeah, and
so what?
Like,
so what? Right? So what?
Yeah, and it's like I know plenty of people who are in really good health, and they eat kind of like I do. I know people who are in poor health, and all they do is eat health food.
They're stressed all the time.
They're stressed stress is what's going to kill you. People stressing about what they're eating, that's doing more harm than good. I can't eat that. That could give me cancer of the penis or something. And, and it's like, calm down, dude. That stress is going to cause cancer. Me, I don't care. I've just become completely laissez-faire. Everyone's gotta chill. And they gotta stop. Fear cannot be their religion. Because sometimes when you talk to a truther and you try and like get them to drop their fear, they have like a religious level cognitive dissonance problem. Like, I can't get rid of the fear. Like, that's part of my worldview, If the fear is part of their worldview, it's really hard to get them out of it. So,
to disagree with you, man. You need to look after your insulin sensitivity. If you become insulin resistant, you're in for a world of trouble. It's the leading cause of most illness, whatever you would call it. But what the terrain theory explains. it's a real big deal.
I've known 2 people ever with diabetes, and I live in the southern United States. I say it's everywhere. I don't know anybody with it.
No, but you have a good point. I mean, you're talking about fear. I mean, you can be aware of reality or aware of what's happening, but it doesn't mean that you have to that you have to find a way of not letting your emotions, affect your life. Kind of, because sometimes emotions exaggerate reality. You can just still live a normal life, right?
And,
be responsible.
It's also possible to live a happy life, generally happy life, even in this world. And I would say that's what people need to focus on, because all of us are going to die. All of us are going to die, right? So you need to make the best of a bad situation. Really.
On the diabetes thing, I've lived all my life after getting treatments from the people that offer the treatments. I got that, and yeah, I've been a type 1 diabetic since I'm like 8 years old, and it's a real thing. But the thing is that if every time I come back to them, I keep getting worse. So it's
and 2, that developed genetically, didn't it?
It was after receiving one of those things.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know what? I've never had one in my life. Like, my mom was really hippie, so I didn't have them growing up. My kids don't have them.
Wow.
I've never had them. Dude, I'm not even circumcised. So, like, I'm here. I'm an adult. Yeah. Well, you're European though, so that's like normal. I'm an American, where like they're like, get your special,
that's weird.
special Kellogg's nip snip here. There you go. But like,